Hey gang, I was just sitting watching TV and I thought, well, I want to do some spinning. So this is my rescued buttwool skirtings that I've cleaned using the No Fleece Left Behind video method. And I am going to spin this into a lovely yarn. So I thought I would film that just for a quick video to watch so you can see what happens with the rescued yarn. I may actually dye this after I've spun it. It's so pretty. Like, look at how pretty that is. So let's get spinning. All right. So this is going to be roughly spinning from the locks. So I'm going to spin S ply Z for crochet. I've been spinning a lot of knitting yarn lately, and I want some crochet yarn. I'm just going to take my roughly a lock and I'm just going to draft it a little bit. I'm going to put this to the side. I'm probably just going to chain ply it, so I'm going to spin fairly thin. There we go. I'm just going to do a nice, relaxed, short forward worsted spin. Now I can't call it a full worsted because they're not all going, the locks aren't all going in the same direction. I don't know what's butt, what's tip, doesn't matter. Now generally when you're making a yarn, to make a balanced yarn, you want to adjust your singles and your ply in opposites. So if you use a low twist on your singles, you'll want to use a high twist on your ply. And of course, the opposite applies. If you use a low twist or a high twist on your singles, you want to use a low twist on your ply. I haven't quite figured out the difference that it makes. So maybe that's what we'll do with this video. So I will spin a bunch on my slowest whirl, so my biggest whirl, and we'll call that low twist, and then when we ply it, we will bump it up. Then we'll do another batch where we will do a high twist and a slow ply. I just became curious about it all of a sudden. So let's see how it's looking. So I'm going to pull a bit off the bobbin, and we're going to want to do a 3-ply. So we will 3-ply this, and then we will let the twist in. So you can see that we've got a pretty low twist yarn there. So to balance would make it very poofy. So we are going to continue to spin this low twist. All right, so we've gone through that little handful of fiber. So I'm just going to pluck out a little piece. Now, because of the method I used for processing this fiber, it does end up in sort of a lock formation. And then I just simply draft it out a little bit to make like a roving. But you don't have to. You can spin straight across it like it's a roving already. But I'm going to stretch it out a bit. And then I have all that to spin. All right, so I just spun up some singles. So we'll just drop that on my lazy Kate on the floor. And grab my leader. So we spun S, we're going to ply Z. And we spun our singles low twist, so we want to do our plying high twist. That feels about right. Okay, so we will make our loop and we will place it and charge up our leader. And apparently we have no uptake on this at all. There we go. So my treadling is remaining fairly consistent. I have just used a smaller whirl, so that will add more twist per inch. Let's see how it looks on the bobbin. Could probably use even a little bit more twist, but for the sake of an experiment, we're going to keep it right there. So I'm going to finish plying this. Shouldn't take me long. Then we'll pull it off the wheel, and I'll leave the settings the same for spinning the single. And then when we ply it, we'll use the big whirl, and then we'll compare the two and see what the differences are. Now, because I'm doing this, I'm just doing small samples, so I can do them both in the same day, in the same mood. So my draft will be the same, my tensions will be the same. If you're in a different mood from spin to spin, it can affect the consistency of your yarn. Because if you get really cross and you sit down at your wheel, you can start off like just treadling. And then as you settle in and the wheel does its magic and you start to calm down, then you start to slow down your treadling and you put less twist in. And it'll affect how your yarn is over the length of the skein. So to get very apples to apples, so to speak, comparison, I'm doing these samples both in one spin. Because I can't say as I've ever really looked closely to see why you would do high twist, low ply, low twist, high ply. No idea why that is. And I'm curious to see if we can figure out why. All right. So there's our first sample spin. I'm going to use the good old elbow Lazy Kate, or Lazy Kate, Nitty and Audie. Names are hard. So funny because my husband Tom used to be the keeper of the names. I know people, I know their life stories. I'm just horrible with names. So I can see people and I'll be talking to them and continue a conversation we had last time, cannot remember the names. So hubby Tom was always the one to remind me of names. Now that he's gone, I'm sort of at a loss. Oh, some more neighbors mowing their yards. I did mine this afternoon. All right. So there's skein one. Just want to knot it here before we lose it. It's so nice and cool, I don't want to close my windows. I hate using the AC when I don't have to. I love to have it for when it's really hot, but for the most part, I just prefer to keep my windows open. So, unfortunately, that means street noise is going to come inside, like ye old lawnmower. Hopefully it's not too loud on camera. All right, so this one is low twist, high ply. And there's what it looks like. And that is with the skirtings from the butt wool that we saved with the no fleece left behind. Now, I'm going to spin a second sample. But this one, I'm going to do high twist, low ply. I'll use the same wool, same spin. Everything else is the same. I'm just changing some settings. And we'll see how it looks. All right, so I spun up a quick sample of high twist. Now we want to do low ply, so I need to adjust my drive band. And we are going to be spinning, plying Z or clockwise. So again, I'm keeping everything the same. I've just changed the whirl size. So I'll just quickly apply this, and then we'll compare our two samples, and we'll see what differences there are. We'll see what differences there are. We'll see what differences there are, and why the recommendation is low twist, high ply, high twist, low ply. Because I'm sure there's a very good reason for it. But it's also good to know what that reason is, so then you can then control to make the yarn that you want to make. Now, I used hardly any wool at all to make these samples. And since it's all just rescued wool, this is pretty much, freebie yarn. Yay! And that's another thing you can do if you're low budget, or no budget, and you want to spin. If you happen to know any shepherds, you could see if you could get the skirtings. It'd be more work, but if you can't afford to buy a fleece and you want to work with it, and a lot of farmers will barter for wool, because they can usually use assistants around the farm, help on shearing day for a discount, or help during hay season or whatever. Like, farmers generally like barter systems. Wow, this is, I'm telling you, it's strong, strong fleece. It does not want to break. All right, just finish this off. Put a knot in the end. I'm just letting the twist build up so I can do this. It's just force of habit now, before I take it off the wheel. All right, now we're going to use our elbow nitty knotty. All I can smell right now is wet sheet, because I've been washing fleece in the house. I'm supposed to do it in the basement in my dye/laundry room, but where am I? In the kitchen upstairs. I don't know why, it's just a thing I do. Hopefully, if it's nice tomorrow, I can get outside and do some serious fleece washing, because I was just doing some samples today, and I want to get all my fleeces washed and dried before summer weather slips away from us, because we're in July already. I am in Canada, so we really only have, winter and August, so it's an old joke. Our good weather can last well to November, but I'd still like to have it done. Get it all processed. All right, so here is our sample of high twist, low ply. And here is high twist, low ply. Or low twist, high ply, high twist, low ply. All right, let's see if the hand is different. All right, so the high twist, low ply is definitely less fuzzy than the low twist, high ply. Can you see the difference there? That's the first immediate thing I see. So maybe for the next experiment, we'll bump up the thickness of the single, and we'll try the same thing again and see if we can get more obvious results. Because I'm looking at this, and if both skeins are together, or samples are together, One's a little tiny bit fuzzier. And that's about all the difference I see, honestly. They look so similar. You really can't see a difference. So I'm going to spin thicker singles and we'll do this whole experiment again. I'm not wasting time. I'm having fun. This is how I play. And all these little samples I can use. There's no worries there. All right, I'm going to go back to spinning and watching some more TV. And when I have some more results for you, I will be back. All right, so I spun a thicker singles and plied it, and we can compare again. So the one to the left is low twist, high ply, and the one to the right is high twist, low ply. And again, I'm not seeing that much difference in the finished yarn. So maybe that's only the rule so that you end up with a decent yarn. So what happens if we go high twist, high ply, or low twist, low ply? Let's find out. I'm actually having fun with this. I didn't expect to be here, but here I am running experiments, doing little samples and having fun. So I'm going to spin up 2 more samples. We're going to do high twist, high ply and low twist, low ply. I suspect we're going to have very unbalanced yarns. My prediction is high twist, high ply is just going to go. And low twist, low ply will probably just want to drift apart. But let's find out, because now I'm curious. Sometimes it doesn't work the way you think it should. All right, I'll be back when I have the next samples. So here's all the results of our spinning experiment. So this would be high twist, low ply, low twist, high ply. I'm going to put them in the same order here. High twist, low ply, low twist, high ply. And then these ones are low twist, ply, and high twist, high ply. So I'm not really seeing too much of a difference, except maybe the low twist, high ply might be a little bit fuzzier. I'm trying to compare apples to apples here. So let's take these 2 strands and look at them a little more closely. We're getting a lot more shine with the high twist, low ply than we are with the low twist, high ply. So I'm thinking it might be a way to maximize the shine. Let's see if that holds to this one. Low twist is on the right, high twist is on the left. Does seem to have a bit more luster in the high twist, low ply than in the low twist, high ply. Now, here is where we did low twist, low ply. And can you tell this is high twist, high ply? All right, let's have a look here. We'll put these side by side. Now, obviously, there's a lot more energy in the high, and it's twisting up on itself. The low is hanging loose. And the high definitely has more sheen to it. But it is very active. Now, if I'd let the singles rest for a while, they might not be quite so active. But for stitch definition, or definition on the yarn, because I'm not stitching it yet. The high definitely like has this gorgeous stitch definition that you don't get at all with the low. And you lose all of your shine when you do low. So in order to maintain the sheen, I'm going to guess that's why we change high twist, low ply, low twist, high ply, is to get a nicely balanced yarn with a nice shine to it. At least that's what I've discovered with this little experiment. Regardless, all of this yarn that I have right here was made from fleece that I rescued from skirtings. So it's like bonus yarn. And I'm really excited that I did this experiment, even though it doesn't have any definitive results in my practice. I do have to say that you definitely want to balance. So low twist, high ply, high twist, low ply, depending on what results you want. So thanks for joining me, guys. If you like this, do that stuff down below because I do stuff like this all the time. Thanks. Bye.